Hello, good morning, my dear friends. Welcome to Current Affairs Success Guide. The today's topic is ICC new rules. The International Cricket Council has introduced a number of changes to its play conditions, which will effective in all series starting 28th September or later. The first rule is the significant changes include a restriction on the dimensions of the bat. To remain the balance between bat and ball, the playing conditions now restrict the size of the edges of the bats as well as their thickness. The restriction on the length and width of the bats remain unchanged, but the thickness of the edges cannot be more than 40 millimeters and the overall depth can be 67 millimeters at the most. Umpires will be issued with new bat gauge which they can use to check a bat legality. The Australian batsman David Warner and others using high thickness bats till now. The second rule of ICC, a player can now be sent off the field for the rest of the match for any serious misconduct, threatening to assault an umpire, making inappropriate and deliberate physical contact with an umpire, physically assaulting a player or any other person, and committing any other act of violence, all contribute level 4 offences. The above changes will be applicable across all formats, as will be a change in the DRS rules, by which a review will not be lost in case of a decision that remains unchanged, solely as the result of a umpire's call. Third rule of ICC is an important change with respect to runouts, is that if a batsman is running or diving towards the crease with forward momentum and has grounded his bat behind the popping crease but subsequently has lost contact with the ground at the time of the wickets being put down, the batsman will not be run out. The fourth rule of ICC for boundary catches. Airborne fielders making their first contact with the ball will need to have taken off from within the boundary. Otherwise, the boundary will be scored. Some fielders, they did not contact with the boundary line and they catch the ball in the air and they thrown into the field. That is not considered. That should be scored the boundary. The fifth rule of the ICC, a batsman can now be out, caught, stumped or run out even if the ball bounces off the helmet worn by a fielder or wicket keeper. A batsman can also be declared out, caught, stumped or run out even if the ball bounces off the helmet worn by a fielder or wicket keeper. Earlier it was considered as the not out, the bouncing ball catched by the fielder when it bounced on the helmet of the wicket keeper or fielder. The sixth rule of ICC is once the batsman left the ground, he may be recalled before commencing the next ball. He was declared as not out. The handle the ball rule was removed and it was included in the rules of obstructing the field. The seventh rule of the ICC, if the ball bounces 2 times or bounces far from the pitch by reaching the crease, it will be considered as the no ball. If the ball reaches boundary when it escapes by the fielder and keeper, that was not counted in byes. The ninth rule of the ICC is if the bowler intentionally throw the ball to the high bounces, that will be considered as the no ball. Earlier the bowler was given 2 warnings of the bouncing balls. My dear friends, if you like this video, please tap the red button and subscribe. Like it, share it to your friends. Thank you very much. All the best.